Are you a fan of the classic legal drama TV series Perry Mason? It was a show that displayed heroism, intelligence, and class, qualities we all crave in modern TV shows. But even if you're the biggest fan of Perry Mason, there are probably details you didn't know about. Keep watching to learn about the huge details you missed in Perry Mason. How Perry Mason began. Erle Stanley Gardner was an American lawyer who practiced in California. He began his career as a typist at a local law firm. He began his journey as a lawyer working to assist impoverished people, including many immigrants, who hadn't received a fair trial or had been wrongly imprisoned. This inspired Erle to start the Court of Last Resort, which later became the name of one of his novels. It was an organization to help those who had been wronged by the justice system. It paved the way for other similar organizations, such as the Innocence Project and Centurion. While he enjoyed his legal career, he soon realized he needed to find another outlet to express his ideas. He found this in writing. He began writing short stories for pulp magazines and introduced American readers to a fascinating slew of characters, including detectives and attorneys. These included Cool and Lamb, Doug Selby, and Alphonse Baker Carr. Then, in 1933, he published his first novel featuring Perry Mason. Before we tell you more about details you missed in Perry Mason, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Meet Perry Mason. The first Perry Mason novel was called The Case of the Velvet Claws. It became an instant success, and it was clear Perry Mason was a character who would have a long lifespan. Erle Gardner continued to write novels and short stories featuring Mason. In total, he wrote 80 stories featuring the character. But fans wanted more than novels and short stories. Throughout the 30s, Perry became a featured character in several Hollywood films. Perry Mason later became a popular radio series that ran from 1943 to 55. In 1957, Perry Mason hit our TV screens. The character was played by Raymond Burr, and he soon became the best actor who brought Erle Gardner's character to life. Perry Mason became one of the most popular TV shows in America. It ran from 1957 to 66, and is still popular among people who love mystery and courtroom dramas. But even die-hard fans may have missed a few details. Raymond Burr. We can't imagine the Perry Mason series without Raymond Burr. In fact, he was the first choice for producer Gail Patrick Jackson. But he also had to lose weight to play the role. Burr was 60 pounds overweight and knew he had to slim down to play Perry. He went on a crash diet. Burr loved the role so much, and it seemed no one could replace him. There were a few episodes where he wasn't in the show due to the fact that he needed to have surgery. This didn't lead the producer to replace him. There was even one episode where he phoned in for a cameo. Burr was known to have an imposing figure but a calm demeanor. This made him perfect for the role of Perry Mason. How did he get a name like Perry Mason? Early in his writing career, Erle Gardner created a character named Ken Corning. The character was a mix of an attorney and a detective. These stories were an interesting mixture of mystery and courtroom drama. It was clear this would be the character that made Erle Gardner a household name. It was this character who resonated with audiences more than Gardner's other creations. He expanded upon this character and eventually changed the name to Perry Mason. The name came from the Perry Mason & Co. publishing company, which published the magazine Youth's Companion, which Erle Gardner subscribed to during his childhood. One wonders if the publishing company was aware their name would get used to create one of the most memorable characters in American literature. The name Perry Mason is now synonymous with heroism, intrigue, and legal expertise. The Perry Mason character and stories continue to live on. The most recent adaptation is the HBO series, which serves as a prequel to the original. Stanley Erle Gardner's involvement. Warren William was the first actor to play the character in 4 films. Next, Ricardo Cortez played him in The Case of the Black Cat. Later, Donald Woods played the character in The Case of the Stuttering Bishop. Stanley Erle Gardner was vocal about his impressions of the adaptations. He didn't care for Ricardo Cortez's portrayal. He felt Donald Woods did a better job, but he wasn't the best fit either. When Raymond Burr landed the role, Stanley Erle Gardner was satisfied. While die-hard fans will always say Raymond Burr was born to play Perry Mason, it's comforting to know that Gardner also felt the same way. The original Hollywood adaptations made Gardner realize he needed to have more creative control over future adaptations. He was actively involved with the Perry Mason TV series and made a cameo appearance in the final episode. Who was on the show? Apart from Raymond Burr, who were other notable names featured on Perry Mason? The show helped launch the career of Barbara Hale, who played Della Street, the character she's most remembered for. William Hopper, who originally auditioned for the lead role, played Paul Drake. The show also featured many cameos from famous actors and actresses, such as Walter Pidgeon, Hugh O'Brien, and Bette Davis. It also featured many fledgling talents who later became huge stars. These included Burt Reynolds, Barbara Eden, Ryan O'Neal, Adam West, Leonard Nimoy, and Robert Redford. The show and its character were so popular that many stars vied for a spot in an episode. The current HBO series is produced by Robert Downey Jr., who was originally thinking of playing the lead. Did Perry Mason ever lose a case? It was rare to see Perry lose a case, but there were 3 incidences against him. In the episode The Case of the Witless Witness, Perry lost. He received a judgment against a client in a civil law trial. There were 2 especially harrowing cases where Perry's client was determined to be guilty. In The Case of the Terrified Typist, he was able to save his client from a guilty verdict. In The Case of the Deadly Verdict, Perry's client receives the death penalty after being found guilty. But he saves the day and manages to prove his client's innocence. Perry Mason was one of the most intriguing TV series produced in America. The character remains one of the most fascinating in media. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think the show still holds up today? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.